Maharaj may not be the happiest if I share this, but Maharaj did celebrate his 72nd, birthday recently, or we call it in our tradition, Vyas Puja, recently last week. So we can wish him a happy birthday as well. I don't think we need to sing it, but well, at least with a round of applause, we can wish Maharaj a happy birthday. As many of you may already know, or may have met Maharaj in the past, he's fondly known as the walking monk. And why? Because he's not walked across Canada once or twice, I believe 4 times now altogether, Maharaj. 4 times across Canada, walking, not by car, not by bike, actually walking and really meeting those who are around our community, not just here in Ontario, but all across the country. He's also traveled across the US and many other countries. So again, we call him fondly the walking monk, but those who have grown up in this community have seen Maharaj's face and plays throughout the year, and we're so glad to welcome him back here in Toronto. Maharaj is, I think someone's coming to welcome you with a garland, Maharaj. But Maharaj is back here in Toronto for some time. We'll continue on his travels, and then hopefully, maybe on New Year's, we'll have a new play. I'm putting undue pressure on Maharaj. As is customary, when we have a guest or we have someone speaking, we offer a garland of flowers to welcome them. And with that, without further ado, we'll pass it on to Bhaktimarga Swami to lead us in our discussion for today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, and we are delighted to announce about the Mississauga branch that opened up. Our grand opening wasn't it just last week, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, God, time is going by. Yeah, a very nice attendance there, beautiful mood, and this is just a part of our plan to expand Krishna consciousness in this part of the world, Southern Ontario, Northern Ontario. This morning we're just in Huntsville. Things are doing really well there. And of course, everyone's going up there for the colors. And while they're there, they're going to check out Govinda's and the new temple. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we will just chant to the common bhajan that is sung at this time. Many of you know it. Jaya Radha Madhava. Okay. Not sure what to do about this guy. I just don't want him in my face. Okay. That guy there. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Gopi Janabala Kira Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of nights. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. We'd like to start off by chanting Holy Japa, mantra meditation. But many of you have been here already for a few minutes. You've been chanting kirtan and engaging, employing yourselves in the chanting of the Maha Mantra. Now we'll do it with the assistance of our little tool called Japamala. And if you don't have one in your hands, then at least you can just chant along with us. It's a combination of 3 words, Hare, Hare, Krishna, Krishna, and Rama. Rama. And basically it's a calling out to the Supreme, to the Creator, Krishna, and asking him if he could keep us locked in his bhakti, his devotion, his love, through services, doing various services. So we'll spend 3 minutes on this. I'm going to do a timer on this. Oh my God, how intimidating could we get? Okay. All right. So just if you can follow after me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so I would ask if you could sit with your back, neck, and head erect in a straight line, and just concentrate. Your eyes can be closed for this. Unless, well, we do have a mantra over there that might help if someone swings it over this way. And if you don't know it, then you'll have to keep your eyes on it. Thank you, that's really appreciated. Just grab the back spine of it, the back spine, and put it over here. All right, we'll spend 3 minutes, serious minutes on this, okay? And everyone together. So we'll do it in unison, okay? And keep the eyes closed. I might have to keep my eyes open, just keep an eye on the time, okay? So don't think I'm cheating, all right? Haribo. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, a little louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, speed it up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Slogan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai. You can open your eyes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Give yourselves a hand. Woo! Anyway, that's called mantra meditation. So the topic that we chose to speak from today, and let's see where we go with it, is do what you need to do. Okay? How do you like that one? Sounds pretty casual? Okay. We'll explore it. All right. I'm going to dive into chapter 18 from the Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, and it's text 63. Iti te jnanam akyatam guyad taram maya vimrishaitad ashishina yadechasi tatha kuru. This is the translation. Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Okay, and that's Krishna speaking to his friend Arjuna. And the purport isn't too long, I'll read it to you. The Lord has already explained to Arjuna the knowledge of Brahmabhuta. One who is in the Brahmabhuta condition is joyful. He never laments, nor does he desire anything. That is due to confidential knowledge. Krishna also discloses knowledge of the super soul. This is also Brahman knowledge of Brahman, but it is superior. Hear the words, Yatejasi tathakuru, as you like, you may act. Indicate that God does not interfere with the little independence of the living entity. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has explained in all respects how one can elevate his living condition. The best advice imparted to Arjuna is to surrender unto the super soul seated within his heart. Okay. By right discrimination, one should agree to act according to the order of the super soul. That will help one become situated constantly in Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of human life. Arjuna is being directly ordered by the personality of Godhead to fight. Surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in the best interest of the living entities. It is not for the interest of the Supreme. Before surrendering, one is free to deliberate on this subject as far as the intelligence goes. That is the best way to accept the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such instruction comes also
through the spiritual master, the bona fide representative of Krishna. Jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening. So now, that's verse 35, and slowly creeping up to us, that for those who are interested students in the Bhagavad Gita, is the conclusion of the Gita, which we find in 66. Also, some people like to refer to 65 and give it the same kind of punch. Okay, what are we saying in verse 66? Surrender, let go. What are you holding on to? You know, and Krishna says then, if you just let go, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to give you moksha. I'm going to absorb all the bad karma, and then there's no stress for you. In text 65, the Lord says, you know, he gives a little more of a hint how you surrender. Think of me, be my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. So, in terms of our particular topic, Krishna is giving, he will give freedom, but you have to act wisely. And so when he says, do as you like. So first of all, before the instructions are rolled out, almost like a red carpet by the Supreme Lord, you don't have much of a choice. But because Krishna is the ultimate wisdom giver, now you have an alternative. You have an ultimatum, right? And sometimes people ask me, well, why is there so much concentration in Krishna in the Hare Krishna movement? Well, it makes sense. Hare Krishna. Krishna should be there. Oh, what about Durga? What about Shiva? What about Ganesh? And 33 million different gods and goddesses that are there. So we don't have a problem with big families. We like big families. You know, when I was on my third walk across Canada, I was up on it was Yonge Street, Highway 11, up near Timmins. And I met a lady, she pulled over. She was very interested in what I was doing, because you don't see people like this kind of clothes walking down the highway, right? So she was very interested. And we were just talking about, you know, where I came from, where she comes from. I said, oh, I come from a family of 22 kids from the same mom and dad. I said, are you French Canadian Catholic by chance? He said, yes, I am. So that was quite common. Now, so people have a choice how many children they want to have. Anyways, our conversation went really well, and it's really your choice what you want to do about all of this. Chapter this 18, text 65, addresses loving God, and you do have a choice. Prabhupada makes that statement here. You are free to do as you like. Now, talking a little bit about how I was raised. My dad was good. I was the oldest kid out of 6. And I never had an argument with him. He was very loving. He was very kind. He was very good. He was a good guy. And he let us, you know, he gave us some basic values to live by. But he also gave us freedom. It's like, do you ever go on the walks down the ravine and people have their dog and it's a tight leash, you know? They're almost taking the, you wonder who's leading here. Usually it's the dog. But some people have long leashes. So my dad, he gave us a long leash, you know? So I've given you some principles, you can do what you like. And I was 17 when I got my license. I could use, Dad, do you think I could use the car? He never asked, well, what are you doing it? What are you doing with it? Where are you taking it? He wouldn't ask. He kind of trusted us, you know. So that love and trust was very imbibed in us. And we liked it very much, the fact that he gave us, he laid out the foundation for us and gave us the wisdom that we needed. You know, street smart kind of stuff, even though we lived in the country, there were no streets. But he trusted. And, you know, me and my siblings, we never really got into any big problems. We were part of the counterculture, if you understand that, mild hippies, you know, against the system, against the, you know, the whatever's the status quo at the time. And it was wonderful to have that kind of freedom. But because he gave us the baseline of what we might call in our tradition dharma, being dutiful, being responsible, being respectful and respectable. He had that confidence that we're not going to go off the rails, so to speak. So what Krishna did as a great favor to Arjuna is that he said, I'm giving you some confidential knowledge here. And it starts right in chapter 2. Krishna talks in chapter 2. He doesn't talk in chapter 1. Did you notice that? He doesn't speak in chapter 1. He only has 17 chapters to deal with. But in the first one, it's Sanjay, it's Dhritarashtra, it's Duryodhana, and then Arjuna goes on for a long time. I can't do this because blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. A long list of blah, blah, blahs, all excuses. And then after Krishna was listening, he's a very good listener. That's the thing. Before Krishna unfolded the wisdom of what we call the wisdom science of life, he just listened. And that's a good, if you want to build up good relations with people, you have to be a good listener first. Don't impose all your ideas on someone. Don't throw everything at everybody. Receive first, and then you can deliver. It's not a bad policy. So Krishna talks about confidential knowledge, and he talks about in chapter 9, he keeps throwing it around all over the place, And even at the end, you can this is confidential knowledge. It's right here in the shloka. Gulyat, confidential. I'm giving you more and more layers and layers, just like layers on a cake. How many people like birthday cakes? Yes? How many people like cakes? Okay. For those of you who come from afar, maybe you didn't have birthday cakes, but I just want to tell you a secret. More popular than the Hare Krishna song is the Happy Birthday song around the world. So there's all these layers of cakes, and Krishna's laying it on with the layers of wisdom. And finally he says, I'm going to give you a chance to exercise your freedom. I'm telling you what's the best path to take, and that is the path of bhakti. It supersedes the path of karma yoga, and it goes beyond jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. What I'm giving you is bhakti yoga. It's the topmost yoga system. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatin antaratmanam shradadam bhajati yamam yamai same yuktatamomataha. So that uttama, the topmost yoga, is the one of love, where there's bhajate. Bhaj means worship, and Prabhupada explains there's not an English word that really can explain worship. Worship is formal. Worship is conventional. But worship is not necessarily hitting the spot with the heart. So that's why we're coming close to, I'm taking a verse at the end of the Gita where it's Krishna's getting into that heartful notion, and that to just kind of let go, give up your attachments. Now, how many people like the idea of getting old? Is anybody here who likes getting old? Anybody? Not one? Oh, come on. How many people don't want to get old? How many people are old and they don't want to be there? Okay, when I first met devotees, and we spent like a weekend together, and they said, I looked at the picture of Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj. They said, oh yes, he's very old. I said, yes, we want to be like that. I said, you mean you want to be old? I said, we want to be advanced like him. We understand that when you get to that age, you'll be very advanced in spiritual life. So, okay, I think I got it, Getting old means getting wise, mounting up experience, and having all those things, behind you or under your belt. So, okay, that's good. So apparently, when you get older, you are wiser. You do take time to smell the roses a little bit more. you start to appreciate the simple things in life. And I remember, this goes back a few years ago, we had a Catholic priest who was coming to the temple regularly, and he's not with us now. I went to his funeral. But he was spending a lot of time here. We had an office over here. And he was really soaking in Krishna consciousness. And we had Mr. Singh, who was our treasurer. Does anybody know Mr. Singh? Remember him? We don't have any old people here anymore. I thought, okay, so Mr. Singh was like our treasurer bookkeeper. And he was also almost like a counselor, because we had a lot of young people coming around living in the building, and they pour their hearts out to him sometimes, right? And so we also had this Catholic priest who also was older and he had experience. And he told me after some of the sessions he sat through, oh God, I'm so glad I'm old. I'm through all the passions that they have to go through. Yeah, so he was speaking really from the heart. So look forward to your aging. It's not such a bad one. You can't eat all the birthday cakes like when you were young. You can't have all the ice creams. You can't run and jump, and you can't do back flips or front flips like maybe you used to do, but there's something beautiful about it at the same time. You know, we become wise, we become mature, and we also realize I really now have a choice. I'm retired, semi-retired. I have a lot of, time on my hands, and how am I going to use it? Now you can exercise a certain level of freedom and independence, and that's quite nice. A lot of people really enjoy their retiring years. It says, I can go on trips, I can take a cruise up to Alaska, I can do this and that, I go to India once in a while. And if I don't get run over by a cow or a truck or something like that, So it's all those things. We have some freedom, but really it's the mindset that has to be addressed. What is your mindset? Because when you're young, you're passionate. You want to do a lot of things. You want to build your empire, build your business. You want to have, a wife or husband. You want to have kids and all those things. And you just want to build and grow with your influence. And after some time, you just, I'm a little bit tired of that right now. I'm turning 50, and I know a lot of people were just recently met a lot of people just on individual, say one-on-one experiences. I'm going to turn half a century. Says, oh, good, wow. So more choice comes through, not so much physically, but more psychologically. There's a freedom there that you didn't have before because of all the passion, the oomph. Have you ever heard that? Oomph. The punch. So it changes, and it's a beautiful time of course, we have to have self-care and take care of the body and all that. But now your mindset can switch, your activities can switch. Now, we're talking about the Bhagavad Gita, right? And most of you have heard there's 5 basic topics here in the Bhagavad Gita alone. And the first one is Ishvara. Does anybody know what Ishvara is? How do you translate that one? God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, Bhagawan, the God is discussed here. Then there's also something called a little God, tiny God, known as Jiva. Jiva, that's all of us living entities. We're little gods. Like you're sitting here, you're looking this way, you're pointing east, and you have some room to wiggle just a little bit. It's a little tight here on Sundays, isn't it? But you have a little bit of room to go like this and that, and if you have to go to the washroom in the middle of our talk, then you have to sort of navigate your way through there. So that's the joy of a little God, the Jiva. You can move around, navigate a little bit. Okay, then what is also discussed in the Bhagavad Gita is Prakriti, material nature, material energies. That is what this microphone is composed of. This, your body, the floor you're sitting on, the ceiling, this pillar, yeah, that made of material elements. That's another topic, very much discussed. Another topic, the fourth one is kala, time, right? And kala is very important to us. You know, we start our program at 6 o'clock. How many people were here at 6 o'clock? Well, I wasn't here, I was upstairs. Okay, so trying to be on time. Time, now, about these four, and we'll get to the fifth one. What we mentioned, Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, which is time, of course, Prakriti, which is material nature, they all have something in common. They are eternal. They're always there. In some cases, some of them are there to haunt us. Some of them are not. It's good to have God around in your life. Okay, and the final subject that is discussed quite openly in the Bhagavad Gita is karma, action. You know, when people make a movie and they go, lights, camera, karma. Okay, so karma means action. It's the same thing. And we're always acting, we're doing something, and we're also reacting to our actions. Somebody asked me, because we do put together dramas, they say, so what's the secret of acting? Well, acting means reacting. That's what it is. So it's this and that, you know? And so in context of our topic here today, you have a choice. You have a choice. And that choice should be, if you're happy with your particular mindset, which Prabhupada explains, it's conditional life. But more important than conditional life is constitutional life. Okay? There's two kinds of souls in this world. And the conditional life or conditioned soul is somebody who's all kinds of conditions. It's all about back scratching. I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's all about deals, wheeling and dealing, isn't it? It's like that. But when we're talking about something a little different, such as where you really have a choice, and such as we're hearing about Krishna's message, and he's letting us know what is the conventional life and what is the constitutional life. Constitution means I'm the servant of God. God is boss, I am Das. You know? That's the thing. I don't know about that company, that shoe company, Adidas. You ever heard of that one? Adidas, Das. I don't know where that came from. Das means servant, and Adi means the original. So first, definitely I'm not the original Das or servant of God, but I'm in there somewhere. So that's freedom comes from the will to surrender. And then you can really appreciate this. Do as you like. Do as you like. And if you're a little bit smart, if you have a little bit of booty inside of you, then you'll go by the recommendations and the suggestions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of God, Bhagawan, the Creator, the Supreme, the Divine, what have you. You know, if God's clearly sending you messages on what to do with your life and how to make it the best, as perfect as possible, then it's a good idea to take that advice, you know, and not squander around and goof off, or horse around, or monkey around. Those are the expressions, right? When you have kids, when they're young, they monkey around, and you have to straighten them out, right? So, anyways, again, a change of the mindset. The mindset should be, I'm surrendering, I'm giving my will. Yes, I'm loving. Krishna's saying, just love me. And it is a two-way street. But I love you. So can you love me? Can you understand that? You know, when two people talk, they're in love, you know, I really like you. I said, well, but I don't quite like you. Okay. That not very compatible. Right? But if two people just have the same message mutually, I love you. Oh, and I love you. Then it's perfect. So Krishna says, I love you in different places in the Gita. And then all the response is, okay, I love you too. And why should we love Krishna? Well, the answer is right there in 65. 66. I'll give you moksha, freedom from the cycle of birth and death. I will deliver you from sin. I'll take all the pop away from you. That's pop that comes in a bottle, because that's bad. That's wicked too. But pop the sin. And so don't worry. Don't worry. Isn't that in The Lion King? Don't you worry. What's the Sanskrit there? Does anybody know it? That was sort of after my time. Apunya, what is it? Okay, but don't you worry. I remember some years ago, we had one person visiting us. He's a Swami now. He came from San Diego, and he was here to help us with certain things where we needed help. And he said, this community, it's at that particular time we were going through some strange metamorphosis, and some of the kids were singing the song Apunya. Okay, don't you worry, the Sanskrit version of it. And this particular devotee said, I know there's something wrong with this community here. They're singing the wrong mantras. Anyways, things got sorted out after a while. But anyways, think about it. Krishna is giving you some freedom. He's not telling you have to surrender to him. That would not be a show of love. But when there's choice, independence, then there's love. You can't force love. You can only encourage it somehow, usually through actions. And by the way, love is not a romantic moment. That's not the highest level. The highest level is love, surrender, serving someone out of the goodness of your heart. That's real love. Not what Bollywood or Hollywood portrays. And by the way, those people who usually are caught in love scenes are some of the worst examples of how to demonstrate love. They're many of them are screwed up, if I can use that term, mega screwed up people, and they're not the kind of people to follow. So where are the examples? Well, those who are engaged in bhakti, devotional service, and they do it with all their heart and all their mind and soul and so on like that. So let's see what the time is like right now. And I think it's a good time to sort of put a closure to this. So I got a little distracted when he was passing the prasadam around. I was thinking, is that for me? So much love. And then he walks by me. Haribol Hanuman, Hanuman ki. We thank you, Hanuman, for putting so many years into serving prasadam. Hanuman's very steady. He's shown a lot of passion over the years, and it's always a lot of fun. It's very entertaining. But we really appreciate what you're doing. So I guess what we can do is we can take questions or suggestions, or if there's something that you like that you heard, you can repeat it. We're just going to ask for another 3 minutes of Shanti. Kind of worked. Yeah. Okay, we have a question here. Do we have a mic?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Krishna mind and Guru Vasishtha, we also talk about Nishkam Karma.
Can you hold it a bit
So-
closer?
You're going to have to start again. Just hold slow.
Is it
Yeah.
audible right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So Lord Krishna and Guru Vasishtha, both of them, they talk about Nishkam Karma, right? So if we are on the path of Nishkam Karma, why is Bhakti needed? Why do we need the Krishna consciousness?
Do you want to explain what you mean by that terminology?
As you talk about karma, I mean, just doing it without
Heart.
without keeping in mind the path and the good.
Right. Well, we have to be considerate of the fact that you have to start somewhere. And, love is something that's cultivated. To be honest with you, when I saw pictures of Prabhupada was reading his books, said, oh, this is a very wise person. But it takes time to, it's something that you cultivate after some time, the love factor. I say, he really does care about me, It's not that he's just being a teacher and gaining all this fan club going. It's really more about, in the beginning, take your time, slowly. Shanai, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, go at this slowly, carefully, And like in the mode of goodness, very thoughtfully. Take some breaths, some pauses in between. And then you'll get to that stage of full surrender. So that's, I think, just for the sake of people grasping a hold of it. Take to bhakti, take to this surrender process, and just go at it at a nice, easy pace that's measurable and can get some results from that particular approach. So the love will come, but it just takes time. Okay? Like appreciation takes time. Now it's the Thanksgiving Day weekend, and I was walking on the Trans-Canada Trail by the Muskoka River today. A lot of people were there. A lot of people, like tourists from China and other places, the Orient. A lot of Sikh community people from Brampton were there for some reason. And local folks, they were all there. And I was just saying, good morning and happy Thanksgiving Day. So there was a nice reciprocation. Sometimes they got me before I had a chance to say something. So there's a time to be very grateful, gratitude, to show appreciation. And when you're a child, we don't appreciate what love and sacrifice our parents gave us. It only kicks in when you have your own kids. Oh, I get it now. I couldn't understand it before, right? That the discipline that is given, administered, is love. That the kisses, the hugs, or whatever, that's love for sure. Giving nice prashadam is love. Giving spinach or shak, no, it's not love. When you're young, right? But then you understand later on, oh, that is love. I got my iron because my parents care for me like that. So don't think that love just happens spontaneously after you come out of the birth canal. It takes time, cultivation. Hare Krishna. Done. Anybody else? Do we have time? One more? Si, senor, over there. Hey, you look kind of Spanish, by the way.
Hare Krishna. You said how when God gives you like a message, then you should follow it. It's a good idea to follow it. But when do you know that God is giving you a signal, a message?
Well,
how do you know?
The message that Krishna gives to Arjuna, his friend, in the Gita is the same message for all of us. In fact, Arjuna was quite a self-realized soul. He just slid a little bit there. He went a little off the track, and Krishna was just trying to pull him in. So we are currently off track. We are under illusion. Krishna states that. We're influenced by the three gunas, laws of nature. We are influenced by Maya. So when Krishna is giving us a message to Arjuna, he's like the filter, It's the same message for us. And the message is one of surrender, it's one of love. I don't think anybody can beat that. But he is saying, be a friend to me. Not just be a devotee, be a friend. Several cases Krishna talks about being a friend, my dear friend, he says. Manmana bhakto. Priya, you're very dear to me. You're my friend. So let's be friendly with God. And less challenging. Oh, I'm having so many problems. My karma is so heavy. Why are you doing this to me, God? Well, think deeply. Isn't this self-imposed? Did you not make some mistakes in the past?
and now it's just haunting you like some kind of boomerang coming at you. Take some time, take a pause, breathe. But this alone, this book, Bhagavad Gita, it's all here for you and it speaks to you. So my recommendation is that if you want to know when God is speaking to you, it doesn't have to come from the sky. It doesn't have to come in the form of a cloud or an angel with a halo. You know, it may not necessarily have to come from some devotee. You know, but ultimately it does, because all these purports are coming from a very pure soul, Srila Prabhupada. So my suggestion is get familiar with Shastra, you know, and that's your real weapon. There's Astra, which is a weapon, and Shastra. They almost sound the same. This is your real weapon for life. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. Jai. And I guess that's it. We'll cut it off right there. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for
It was just trying to offer basis.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for leading us in a wonderful discussion on the timeless wisdom that is present in the Bhagavad Gita and our Shastras. We are going to fly through these announcements because there's many guests here today, but also, as we usually start off, is there anyone here for the very first time or second time here in the temple? Yeah, I see some random hands. Wonderful. A huge thank you and welcome to our temple. We can give them a round of applause. Yes, why not? As a token of our appreciation, not just because it's Thanksgiving weekend, but in general, we have one of our wonderful volunteers here, Amla Harinam. If you would like to meet him at the end of these announcements, he can give you a tour around the temple, help you with getting a plate of vegetarian feast or prashada, and get to know you a bit better, and so you can also learn about all the wonderful activities we have here. So thank you.